Welcome back to Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, along with my co-host, as always, Pausha Hagigi's in the building. We are back. End of the week vibes. More to talk about as always. How you feeling, my guy? How's everyone doing out there?
I feel like I want to start with the pod off by just kind of throwing our condolences and everything that's going on. We both have lived in LA at some point in our lives. You for a long time, actually. And I mean, just seeing all the footage and stuff, it's unfathomable what I'm seeing on the internet and everything like that. So thoughts and prayers to everyone out there. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's really sad. I've never seen, obviously there's been some horrific, tragic fires in greater Los Angeles. I think anybody who's lived out there or have people out there know this isn't anything new. But to a fire of this level, it just starts to get really scary. It's wiped through prestigious, beautiful neighborhoods that I actually myself used to call home. I lived in the Palisades for almost 5 years. So the house I lived in, actually, I'm almost positive is not there anymore, which is just, I don't know. I have a weird feeling about it. I tried to digest that last night. Very, very scary. I'm praying for everybody out there as well as Pausha. We hope people in all of Los Angeles can get major assistance. So thoughts and prayers, a way to start the pod with that, Posh. Appreciate that. Regarding some basketball talk, Boston's the best team in the NBA. I don't care if they've lost games recently. That doesn't even matter to me. That team gets bored. They lose games out of pure boredom. And they won't admit it because you can't say something like that on air. So when they ask the coach, like, are you guys just bored? They ask him this all the time. They've been asking him lately. And Joe, obviously can't dive into that. He's just like, no, man, listen, we didn't execute. We got to wake up. He knows, man. Fuckers are waiting for 2 months from now, 3 months from now for the season to really start to kick off. These guys are just running through teams. They beat teams sometimes by 60, then they will lose versus a bad team. What do you think that is? The guys just get bored, man. Bro.
So game 7 in Cleveland, Boston Cavs. You're not even worried about them not having home court advantage or anything. Games. Okay, that's fair. I agree with you that they're the favorites. Obviously in the East, if you're taking OKC,
bro, if you ever watch them play in a big time game, you ever watch Boston play like a big game and how they play, the way that team, fuck the offense, forget the threes. The way that team rotates on defense is a thing of beauty. I could sit there and have the TV muted, no sound, no broadcast, nothing. You could take the whole offensive side of the game. If you just send me the defensive clips of a Boston game, a really good game, big game, where they're like on their A shit, it is a thing of beauty to watch that team scramble and put out fires all night. It's not perfect. Sometimes it's even the wrong rotation. They just figure that shit out. They cover for each other. Someone blows by, that guy goes. That guy runs this guy. This guy goes. Bro, they just put out fires the entire night. They have, bro. Yeah. Listen, I don't got to harp on this anymore, man.
Excited about some other teams. I understand. Boston's the favorite. It's like the Chiefs in the NFL. What happens is you kind of get excited about these other teams, and then when the playoffs come around,
like Pat Mahomes is just gonna win that motherfucker, bro. It might be a nasty game, and people are like, well, they should have lost, but they didn't. That's what's gonna happen. I don't know how else to explain this. I don't give a fuck what the Chiefs' record is right now. I don't care what they got going on.
They have the best record in the NFL.
Well, whatever it is, if they're just in the fucker, if they're in the playoffs, it's dangerous. They're going to go in there and they're going to play the number 1 seed. They're just going to win. And everyone's going to be like, this could be the same thing. Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. It's happening again. They're going to beat somebody again. Why? Because they have the best player in football on their team. Period. Now, as for Boston, they don't have the best player. But my God, as a collection sound, there's not even a team comparable. The only team comparable is OKC. If we're talking about roster spot for roster spot. We're talking about player for player, best 8. Because, playoffs, I say best 8 guys because coaches usually only play about 8 to 9 guys in the playoffs. That roster from 14 guys and 10, 11 guys playing during the regular season, that shit gets cut. So all these guys you're seeing for OKC, you know how they're playing all of them? How they're playing Case and Wallace and Dort. Caruso's not available right now, but he'll be back.
Isaiah Joe.
Wiggins. Bye. Half those dudes aren't playing. I'm just calling for what it is. 8 of those motherfuckers are going to play. And it'll be that 8th man will be a rotating door depending on how he plays the night before. If Wiggins fucks around and has a bad game, that next game, Case and Wallace is going to play. Wiggins won't play. The way Wiggins is playing right now, he need to keep his ass on the floor. He's been hooping, and he's talented and he could score. But not all those guys, you can't play them all. You're going to play 8 to 9 guys, and that's it. So when we talk about best 8 versus 8, give me a team that can compete with Boston roster spot for roster spot. They're the only team, and they don't have the experience or the know-how, and it's just clear when you see them playing a big game. That's me personally. All right. Now, I've seen it happen the other way. They beat Boston the other day in OKC. Big game. I think OKC's the year to improve and like take that next step is this year. I think OKC goes to conference finals this year. And
Finals. They're going to the finals.
No, I'm saying that. Bro, the same thing I have with Cleveland, we're going to have this conversation in 4 months from now.
Well, who's your thing with in the West? Like, who's their biggest threat in the West? Was it like
anybody who's old. Any older team. So like if they play,
still you're still high on the Mavericks.
If they play Minnesota, they beat that ass.
Minnesota over OKC.
No. OKC is beating Minnesota's ass. Okay. If they play a team like that, smack. You run to the Lakers or some shit like that and get weird out there. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just like exactly what I'm talking about. Lakers is.
I'll go with like
Lakers might be a stretch. Lakers been a nasty thing to watch.
I understand if Jokic is the best player in the series and it's tricky and they have the championship
Lakers might be a
experience.
stretch. The only reason I said is because LeBron and AD, but their roster is absolute garbage.
I mean, they lost to the Mavericks the other night without any.
No. They're not in the mix, and their team is poorly put together. I'm just gonna call it for what it is. The team has been It's bad. They've gotten progressively worse. So it is what. Look at that roster over there. I watched them play. What the fuck is that? And I'm not being a hater. I watched them play too much because you have to. The Lakers are always on nationally televised. I watched that shit late night games. I'm like, good God, look at this. This is what LeBron James is out here doing. One-handed windmill dunks.
Can we have a little bit? Give us a minute on that dunk. And
it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen done in sports.
I watched it 1,000 times.
LeBron James's dunk the other night, for people who missed it, if you live under a fucking rock. LeBron James's dunk the other night versus Dallas was the dunk of the year in the NBA.
Really?
Dunk of the year.
Given all the context with him being in the NBA before Dereck Lively was born.
I don't think people understand how the human body works as a professional athlete. By age 32, 33, your hops are gone. Do you guys remember Blake Griffin in LA? He's punching on people with injuries, with time. When you start settling, when your jumper starts improving, your skills, you get away from that basket. It just goes. It happens to everyone, anyone. It goes. I'm talking about age 32, 33. I went to the paint the other day playing with my bros. I thought about dunking. I elevated and just didn't get to where I wanted to go. 5 years ago, I would have jumped and windmilled that sucker. It just changes, okay? Unless you're a freak, John Morant, and even some of those guys, keep fucking around shooting all these threes. See what happens to your hops. I'm dead ass serious. It's how it works. When you stop jumping and dunking all the time, you start jumping and dunking all the time. It's just your body, your twitch muscles, everything just gets used to that. This dude right here, so to say all that, to be 40 years old, and LeBron James is 40-year-old compared to any other NBA player. He's really like 55. It's the guy who's been in the finals like 8 straight years, playing the Olympics. He's an all-star, never gets breaks. Always plays, bro. Not FIBA, but Olympics. Deep runs in the playoffs. Finals. I mean, bro, it's insane. So his 20-year career is really like a 32-year career compared to any other NBA player. He's put in more miles than anybody in the NBA. In fact, I'm willing to bet he put in more miles than the entire Dallas Mavs team combined. If you put in all the miles on the floor, combined them all, it wouldn't be more than LeBron James. So for him to have that, to be jumping at age 40, off left foot and dunking left hand, switching in the air windmill on a 7-foot Dereck Lively, it's the nuttiest shit I've ever seen. I didn't think it was real when I saw it. I saw the dunk, and I was like, good God.
No, I pulled it up. Remember, I pulled it up for you, and then we watched like 1,000 times.
We watched it 15 times over as if it was going to change. As if I just kept watching it over and over again. It's unbelievable what that guy has done.
And I'm going to say again, factoring in the fact he was in the NBA before Dereck Lively was born.
Before Dereck Lively was born, LeBron James was a rookie in the NBA. Now Dereck Lively has himself a position in the NBA and is getting his curly-headed afro punched on by a 40-year-old. And it ain't, and listen, first off, we love Dereck Lively here. Fantastic big future starting center for the Dallas Mavs. Obviously, Gafford has a little more experience. He's holding it down now, but we all know that position is going to be Lively soon. Duke, fellow native. Nothing but love for my guy. All right. We've all had our moments where we've been embarrassed by LeBron. You can cue the tape where he almost dropped me in Cleveland one time. I tried to press him at half court because he don't really have a handle. So I saw him like playing around the ball. I said, let me go take this shit. He hit me with an in and out and almost tore my Achilles. All right. So we've all had our moments, Dereck. So you're not alone. I think every player in the NBA has been embarrassed by LeBron at least once. Last night was his moment. Or the other night. Unbelievable.
I don't even think if you're Dereck Lively, you're even like, I got dunked on. That was such a...
He inbounded that ball so quick, he turns it over. He got punched on. The ball didn't even hit the ground. The fucker grabbed the ball, took a step out of bounds, like, we're not even letting this play.
It was like a quick soccer inbound when the ball goes up.
Anytime you get dunked on, you get up and you inbound that fucker as quick as possible. Get the game, keep going. You don't time for a timeout or a replay or the crowd will be like, can't happen.
Wasn't there like a famous Hoop mixtape where the guy gets dunked on and he laid on the ground and just stayed there?
That's what I had conversations with Brandon Knight before about the DeAndre Jordan dunk. And I was like, yo, why did you stay down there? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you stay down, it makes it worse. Like when John Collins was on the ground, grabbing his face because they had dunked on him, it makes it worse. You got Kyle above, like, you got to get up. Even if you get him up, get him off the ground. You can't stay on the floor. Brandon stayed on the floor, back to the wall like this, like a mat, like he was down like flatline. It made the dunk even more vicious and more because the guy's on the ground, like he just got body back. You know what I mean? They had all them. That was the beginning of memes too, so they're going crazy with Brandon. But
DeAndre made the face too. That was the famous face that he made. Yeah.
And you got the whole bench react. That's when you get. I would have rather had him ninja jump, they jump off their back. I'd rather you do that and just pop back up like nothing happened than you just lay there like you've been shot. You got to get up. Dereck Lively rebounding, the inbounding. By the way, didn't even matter. He turned it over. Now we're focused on the turnover. We're not even thinking about the dunk anymore. He got it. Throw it to the other team. Throw it out of bounds. Do something. I don't know what you got to do. Don't lay on that damn ground. Good job, Dereck Lively. I'm proud of you for that. He popped right. He turned the ball over, threw it right back to LeBron. LeBron stole it. the nigga dunked on him, grabbed the rebound, tossed it like they were playing 500. LeBron went and grabbed the rebound, grabbed the stolen pass, and they got a wide open three. They missed it. But I'd rather have that than you lay on the ground. Can't lay on the ground. Got to get up. Trust me. 500 is insane. Remember that game? You just tossed that ball up. The tallest guy would always win. 500. Pretty much what happened the other day. I mean, Dereck got dunked on. He grabbed that ball. He skipped out of bounds in half a beat and tossed that sucker up like, yo, something else got to happen here. If anything else, let him do something more exciting.